What's a personal internet hack you use that makes life easier but isn't widely known? Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. I wish you a pleasant viewing experience. Story 1, if you check your saved on Reddit, there's a bunch of useful stuff you wanted to do at one point. Story 2, I pay for an email and domain service with the catch-all redirected to my own email address. When I sign up for a service, I set my email for that service to be service name mydomain.com. This way, when I see spam coming in, I know which bastard service sold my details. I then never use them again. Story 3, learn to paste stuff using Ctrl+Shift-V. It strips away any bold, italics, or colors, and some other formatting options. Besides being useful removing crap from the clipboard and making your life easier when pasting, for example, data to Excel, it might be helpful when pasting data that came from an AI that could be detected and get you in trouble. Story 4, Ctrl+Enter wraps whatever you're typed in the URL bar with a www.com. The harder tip comes from the MySpace era. Create a fake persona and use it for every single online account you make. Same name, job, hometown, etc. You build a breadcrumb trail for any docs that leads all around the internet, but never leads to anything worthwhile. Story 5, I started self-hosting things. Websites, databases, media server, torrents, etc. Drop my cloud costs by a lot, all runs in a little $1,000 mini computer with 60 GB RAM sitting on top of my fridge. Story 6, keeping in mind that the internet is not real life and separating between internet and real life. Personal insults on the internet do not matter. Most of the opinions you hear are bots, teenagers, or permanently online people. In real life, most people wouldn't listen to those kind of people, but on the internet they do. Story 7, proper search techniques. Use blue car quote marks to search for exact matches for the words blue car side by side on the page. If you just use blue car, it would find pages with the word blue and or the word car anywhere on the page. It could just bring something with blue without car. Use to remove words. Blue car, Tesla and will bring up every page with the words blue car except any that contain Tesla. Using plus will look for pages that contain all words included, plus blue. Plus car will show pages with both blue and car on the same page. If you are trying to search for a thing only on one particular website, you add site.sitename.com and it will search only that website. If you drop it down to site.gov, it will only search U.S. government websites. Site.reddit.com will search only Reddit for answers. Breaking it down by country or top-level domain, using site.nz will search all New Zealand websites. If you use site.co.nz, it will search all commercial sites in New Zealand. There are also search tools so you can filter the results. A search by time to find answer to your query. A search for the last hour, day, weeks, or custom. I remember this thing in the internet in August 2018. Use search tools to search the internet for answers from August 2018. Search tools 2, middle of the results window. Story 8, the ultimate typing hacks. Ctrl+backspace to delete an entire word at a time, rather than spamming backspace to delete one letter at a time. You can also do the same with the arrow keys to go back forward a whole word, and hold shift at the same time to highlight without using the mouse. Story 9, the currency in the net is your attention and time, so manage where you spend it. There are good add-ons for Firefox like LeechBlock, where you can filter sites out for yourself or set a maximum amount of time you're allowed to spend, so like only 10 minutes doomscrolling per day. uBlock filters ads, even on YouTube. Windows and Android has a black and white grayscale mode under accessibility settings. In Windows, you can active QTE it via key shortcut. Having a boring-looking internet without stimulating color helps me focus. You can filter ads from smart devices via Pihole, so no ads on your washing machine. Nariyuri Story 10. If you want the correct answer to something, ask it on Reddit, log in on a new burner account, and confidently give an incorrect answer. Reddit will immediately jump to correct you. People love feeling superior and smart, so prefer to correct rather than just answer good-naturedly. Story 11. No one should go near the internet without adblock. If you can't have adblock on your device, you can use something like NextDNS to do ad blocking on your ISP's router, and it will work for all devices on your network. This also makes it a great option for less tech-savvy family and friends. You can also set it up as the default DNS for your phone, so you have ad blocking in all apps without little to no extra battery or CPU usage. Important note, if you use NextDNS, go to Settings / Logs and set the storage location to Switzerland. The standard is in the US, which is a big ick. Story 12. On YouTube, you can skip almost any ad by clicking the info button and hitting Stop Seeing This Ad, and it'll skip the ad even if it doesn't have a skip button. Doesn't work for official ads, though, like Walmart or Pepsi. Edit. For everyone saying just use a VPN or ad block, no. This method is mainly useful for watching on the mobile app or on TV. Edit again. Using a browser to use ad block on your TV and phone does work, but both are a hassle, and unless you're getting spammed ads every minute, it's probably faster to just open the app and use the method I mentioned. Story 13. Necessary ones. There's a Chrome extension that turns all pictures of Trump into kittens. It's called Make America Kittens Again, and it has made my viewing experience a little less insufferable. Story 14. Ctrl+F is your best friend. When you're doom scrolling through a 300-page PDF or an endless Reddit thread, just hit Ctrl+F or Command+F on Mac and type what you're looking for. It's like having a personal assistant in the Wild West of the internet. Pro tip, if you're on a web page and Ctrl+F isn't cutting it, thanks to lazy loading or pop-ups, slap site, web citation keyword, into Google. It's like Ctrl+F, but on steroids. Story 15. My email at gmail.com is the same as my mail at googlemail.com. Most sites don't consider them identical for multiple registrations, share accounts, and such. Everything goes to your inbox, though. You can also add a dot anywhere you want, so my.email is the same as my mail is the same as my email. Story 16. Emergency cash in your phone case. Slide a folded $20 bill between your phone and its case. It's a simple move that can save you in a pinch. From unexpected cash-only spots to forgotten wallets, that hidden bill has come through more times than I can count. Quietly reliable, always there when you need it. Story 17, the Ctrl+I shortcut in Firefox. It opens a pop-up that has a media tab that makes it easy to download lots of videos, audio files, and pictures when a website is making it difficult. For example, if you are listening to a podcast on a site and there is no download button, just Ctrl+I, click on the MP3 file in the Media tab, and click Save As. It doesn't always work. Some big sites like YouTube and Spotify put their media files behind an extra blob layer, but it works more often than not. Story 18. Get a good password manager and use it as a browser extension. In itself, a great way to create unique and strong passwords. A really good benefit, however, is that if you ever accidentally click on a phishing link to a service you use, the password manager won't autofill your credentials. This should immediately indicate to you that you are not the site you thought you were. Story 19. If you come across an OnlyFans profile that interests you, go to their OF page, copy their username, and then do a Google search for username leaked. You'll find what you're looking for in either the list of results or on the images page of the search results. Have fun. Story 20. If you need to see a saved password, but the site doesn't have an I option to reveal it, highlight the dots that are your password, right-click on them, select Inspect Element or similar, go to the Type field and change the password word to anything and press Enter. Your password will be revealed. Story 21. For a while, I used a Chrome extension called Unpinterested. It automatically adds Pinterest to any searches on Google's image search. This was extremely necessary in the last 5 to 6 years or so because I might be trying to search for a picture for a quick meme, joke response to something, but all the results were from that website, meaning trying to get just the image from the search page got you a tiny thumbnail. But opening the link either hits you with an account wall or a massive wall of pictures you had to search through with no guarantee the picture in question was even accessible or bigger than the thumbnail. It was an absolute plague on search results. Story 22. Ad blocking in general is something not nearly enough people know about, but uBlock Origin allows you to block more than just ads. It lets you block any element of the web page. I've blocked paywall overlays, cookie overlays, share buttons, and plenty of other things I don't need or want on website UIs, like the big orange Get New Reddit button that is on the upper left corner every single Reddit page if you're using Reddit Classic. I simply don't see that because I blocked that button. When websites add stupid pointless onto the page, you can de-inshitify the page manually, and those elements will stay blocked, provided they continue to be labeled as the same elements. Story 23, not really a hack, but still something I do every day. When on a typical online shopping site, if there is a drop-down to change the number of items displayed per page, take a look at the URL when you click on one of the options. You'll usually notice part of the URL has changed to reflect the number of items you've chosen. Simply change that number to anything you want to display more items than the drop-down allows you to. Story 24. When you make a comment on Reddit, immediately disable reply notifications. I understand the impulse to make a comment about something, but nothing good comes from getting notified when someone responds. If it's a comment where you want the responses, manually check the comment later on. Do what you can to make all of your internet usage on your terms, not the website apps. Story 25. I set my home router up so that only packets with DSCP markings can go through, and then I can selectively control in Windows which applications actually have internet access with QoS, denominator DSCP marking. Second layer firewall, because who fully trusts any OS, looking at you, Windows, to adhere to the firewall rule set that you've created? I bet with full confidence that no one does this. Very handy when installing a new system with Windows as well, which is hooked on a LAN, as it is not able to phone home until I set up my post-install scripts to realize internet access in the first place. And poor man's pull cable whilst installing is also a thing of the past. It makes life easier by not being worried about unsolicited connections. Story 26. Using HTTPS Archon Coafite app to explore long YouTube videos and podcasts. Saves you time and does not make stuff up like ChatGPT. It stays grounded in the transcript, and if the video is complicated in any way, you can ask for explanations or help in different levels of understanding to help you understand difficult concepts. Story 27. Arguing with someone online is pretty much pointless and doesn't improve your life in any way. Why does it matter if some random agrees with your exact ideologies? Knowing this has saved me a lot of time, effort, and mental energy. Story 28. If an article is hidden behind a paywall, I quickly hit Ctrl+A, then Ctrl+C, then I hit Ctrl+V to paste it onto a blank Word document so I can read it for free. But you need to do it quickly before the paywall message shows up. Story 29. You can keep using uBlock with Chrome even though it's still Manifest 2. Download the extension file from their GitHub, turn on dev mode in extensions and load unpacked. It will warn you it's not supported and give you an option to use anyways. Story 30. Here we go. Most won't like this. Price checking at big box stores. I use a browser that allows me to inspect Element and change the data or text on the web page. Say I'm at Best Buy if I find something I like. I locate it on Amazon.com and alter the pricing via the browser tools to something cheaper, and then go to the counter and find some college kid, show him the sold and shipped by Amazon pricing, and he price matches it. I typically do it within $20–30 from the actual price. The biggest discount I received was at Lowe's for some DeWalt batteries. Story 31 for extensions. BlockTube, which completely blocks any channel you want to never show up in your life ever again. Fantastic for ridding YouTube of clickbait channels. My personal list currently sits at 3,500 blocked channels. Also, uBlacklist is great for removing websites from Google search. You can easily block the content farm or engagement bait sites from showing up on Google, as well as all those websites which claim to have a cooking recipe but is actually complete nonsense. You can block the site with just 2 clicks. Sponsor Block is fantastic at skipping all mid-roll sponsored content that you find is basically all large YouTube channels these days, and it saves you literal days of watching ads. For Amazon, you get a few different price tracker extensions, which show you the price history of an item, so that you know if the item you're thinking of purchasing is actually on sale right now or not. I personally use Keepa, but there are several out there that work on most of the Amazon regional sites too. Story 32. I turn off image loading in my browser when I need to focus on reading the text. Pages load really fast, and I don't get ads. Yes, there is reading mode, which works most of the time, and yes, ad blockers work. But sometimes I need the site to think I'm not using an ad blocker, and sometimes reading mode doesn't render the content very well. Story 33. I keep a private Pinterest board filled with clothes I already own. Whenever I'm stumped about what to wear, I just scroll through outfit combinations I've already put together. Saves me from the whole closet full of clothes, but nothing to wear crisis every morning. Story 34. I feel like red receipts are the root of all evil in this world. Creates so many problems. Who asked for that, really? I would prefer no one sees when I've read something. Messenger lets me turn off read receipts from my end for everyone at settings. Privacy and safety. Read receipts. Story 35, I type URLs directly into the search bar. I thought that was obvious, but on 99% of tech support calls I take, the user will type the company name into the omnibar, go to Google, read all the results, get confused, and ask, which one do I click? It always takes me a second to realize they didn't go straight to amazon.co.uk. They Googled it instead. Story 36, VPNs, including Tor, and Onion, are interesting, but slow things down a lot if you leave them permanently on. Also, nobody wants their net banking bouncing through another country. If you're tech savvy enough to know about Docker, there are Docker containers that connect to VPNs, including Tor network, and present it on the LAN as a proxy, HTTP or SOCKS. A little tricky to set up and needs a little maintenance every 6 to 12 months, but once you get it going with a proxy switcher, Firefox Chrome add-on, you can selectively use VPNs per domain. IGNO VPNs for local banking websites, different VPNs for different URLs. If you have multiple said Docker VPN to proxy containers running, it's a bit neat. Story 37. For most email providers, you can append a plus and a string to your email address and still get that email. For example, if my email address was itsritz@gmail.com, had to add the space because Reddit won't let me submit the post without it, and I was signing up for a new target.com account. Rather than giving them my email, I register as itsritz@gmail.com. I'll still get registered and all the emails come to my normal email mailbox that I can filter into a special mailbox. Bonus. If I start getting spam emails for non-target related stuff to that email, I knew those bastards sold my info to a third party. Story 38, virtual credit cards. I had an account stolen or hacked or leaked or something, and someone tried to use it to buy an escort service in a state I have never been to. There are services, Capital One if you have them, that will let you link your debit or credit or bank account to a virtual card number to use for stores online. They can be set to one time only or per store. So if you buy from Amazon, you cannot use that same card at Target or anywhere else. Same for anyone who might get it without your permission. And if it is a one-time card, once you make the initial purchase, it locks and cannot be used again anywhere. Or some have a set amount that can be spent. So if you have a free trial of something, but they want to verify your payment method, you can set it to $1 or whatever, and then they cannot take any more, ever, even if you forget to cancel the service. Story 39. Not sure how much of a hack it is, but I've been using the Brave web browser, which has built-in ad blocking. No need for an external third-party plugin. Given how utterly infested some websites are with ads, to the point where it can potentially crash your entire browser, it's a real game changer for casual internet browsing. Also, it has the added benefit of disabling ads in YouTube videos and streaming services like Hulu. The actual video still plays just without the ads. My dad got so frustrated using Hulu because of how often it hit him with ads during shows or movies he liked. He was ready to just swear off it completely. But then I told him about Brave, and now he can enjoy his Hulu without having to pay extra for the premium version. The only slightly bad thing about Brave is that the folks who made it are clearly deep into the whole crypto NFT scene, as evidenced by all the static splash ads for crypto, blockchain games, and NFT garbage that come up whenever you open a new tab. Brave even has a built-in crypto wallet. Thankfully, you can just ignore all that stuff and keep using the browser as you like. Story 40. In Firefox, right-click on any search box on any site and add a keyword for it. Now, you can search all those sites directly from your address bar by just typing the keyword and then what you want to search. I use W for Wikipedia, A for Amazon, I for IMDb, etc., etc. I won't switch to any browser that doesn't have this. Story 41. Block, mute, silence, disengage with everything that is not to your liking. Do this actively, frequently, with gusto. You're getting a constant stream of content shoved in your face. It better be to your liking. Just push out everything and everyone that is not specifically for you. Channel that posts about a game you don't play? Muted. Friend keeps posting holiday pictures? Muted. Person was kind of in replying to a comment that wasn't even yours? Blocked. Sub getting too political? Muted. Sub getting too porny? Muted. It's the single best piece of advice I can give to stay sane on the internet. It's taking the concept of an ad blocker and extrapolating it to all content that crosses your feed. Story 42. If you sign into Facebook on Google Chrome, on Android, it usually redirects you to the Messenger app. If you try to check your messages, but if you click on desktop mode, it just zooms way out and pops up your messages in the bottom corner, like it would on PC. Also works for YouTube to stray away from the video and still have it play, although it doesn't really make life any easier because it'll forget that it's playing after like 2 tracks if you make it that far. Story 43. For Chromium browsers, multiple browser name flags, Chrome flags, for example. Search dark mode. Turn on force dark mode on everything with selective inversion of everything. If you're even mildly photosensitive like I am, it's a godsend to prevent poorly designed websites from murdering your eyesight with whiteout pixel spreads. Sometimes incorrectly inverts smaller images, but is generally good about it. Story 44. If you need an important document that you swore you emailed someone at some point and you use Gmail, you can use the advanced search to see if it is still there. This is helpful if you sent the email, but never received a response, so you may have never deleted it, but it simply fell out of your inbox into the all mail category or is still in your sent messages. Has attachment after 2009 for 14 before, 125 for now 14, for example, would bring up all emails that are still around in your inbox, even if they are archived from 4/14, 2009 to today, that have an attachment. Story 45 loaded the NewGuard Tech browser extension. It rates news sources using an impartial scale. The result is when I see a link to a story, I immediately know if the source is a reputable news outlet or fake news-looking site. So 100% rating is a legit site, and a 25% rating tells me the site has known issues like hidden ownership or presents opinion and speculation as news, etc. Story 46. This will save you countless hours if you consume a lot of informational videos, meaning things you watch for the information rather than entertainment. Grab the transcript and toss it into an LLM for summarization. You can get most of the key information right from there, in the sense that you can understand all the key concepts and talking points and any supporting evidence or whatever is being discussed. Works great for most stuff. I've been doing that a lot because I've realized that in a 20-minute video, I already know at least 15 minutes of the material or its filler. And I just want the clickbait concept info in most cases. There are websites that will provide you YouTube transcripts for free. If it's long, make sure you use something with a long enough context window. I1E, ChatGPT isn't long enough for certain things, and you need to switch to O3 Mini or even O3 Mini High. I use this so much I deployed a Python script to my Linux server with a simple UI to do this for me. 2. Sponsor block will skip over YouTube ads that are in the video itself for most things, certainly anything popular. 3. Usenet with torrent backup for when Usenet content is DMCA'd. Use Plex to serve anything as your own personal Netflix. Can share libraries with your families and friends. 4. Using a good 3.2.1 backup solution. I have a setup where I have 2 physical hard drives. One is the gold copy. One is a synced backup of that drive. The backup is synced with cloud storage. Services like Backblaze have no limits, but the drives must be physically connected every 30 days. Other solutions like CrashPlan provide unlimited as well, but support things like a personal NAS so you can back up your entire Synology NAS. You should use your own encryption keys so that they cannot ever access your data. Depending on the service, they might see metadata but cannot access the content. Story 47. Not really an internet hack, but most people don't know about Brave Browser. Blocks all ads, especially on YouTube. Only caveat is that certain components that are only coded for Firefox, i.e. Chrome, won't appear on Brave. So for when there's something not downloading properly, then I'll switch browsers. But still, overall, it's great. Story 48. For the price of moderately fancy routers at people's houses, like the Ubiquiti Dream Router 7, you can share streaming services and get around Netflix and other services. Same house restrictions by just routing only the traffic headed for Netflix or whatever servers through the person's house that is paying for that service. Totally legal. Story 49. Remote Facebook logout. Ever logged into Facebook on a friend's or public device and forgotten to log out? You can remotely log out of active sessions by going to Settings, Security, where you're logged in. From there, you can end sessions on any device. This is a lifesaver for privacy and security. Story 50. When you are about to click submit on a form that has a text field that you typed a lot of text into, first select the text and copy it, then click submit. This way, if the form doesn't submit properly or the connection is interrupted, you don't lose everything you typed. Some forms don't let you click back or will send you back to a blank form. Story 51. Putting quotes around keywords to make sure I only get searches with those keywords. Also, a minus sign in front of keywords you don't want to come up in your search results. People wonder why I'm so good at searching things, and it's literally this easy to narrow down results so you don't spend hours searching through unrelated slop. Story 52. Open a new tab, duplicate, reopen last closed tab, Ctrl+F for search of words in pages, documents, etc., as many people mentioned. I think these are well known though. Besides that, I also use visual search and right-click. Search the web for image to find the maximum resolution available for images I want to download. If the max resolution happens to be on a dead web page, I check the link on the Wayback Machine, archive.org, to see if the page was saved on the Internet Archive. I also use extract.pix to download images from web pages in original resolution. Story 53. Don't fall for rage baits, block and report as needed, and move on with your life. It's been a long time since I've read the phrase, "Don't feed the trolls." It bears repeating, especially since some platform algorithms see any interaction as people enjoy this, so there's structural incentive for some people to be absolutely horrible online. Story 54. A good portion of paywalls simply modify the web page by adding an overlay and disabling scrolling. NYT is a good example. Right-click on the paywall pop-up, click Inspect, delete the highlighted block in the HTML, and then scroll all the way to the top of the properties. There's probably something like overflow hidden on the HTML tag. Uncheck it to disable it. Story 55. Have personal email tiers, the Cirrus one, with your name on it for school, job seeking, family communication, taxes and such. The subscriptions and shopping one, you as its name states. Pro tip, also use digital cards or PayPal with 2FA for extra abstraction. The optional garbage and socials, where you have all your socials, temporary subscriptions, stuff that you will be okay if you miss. Almost any phone or desktop email app can handle multiple inboxes. Yes, it sounds like so much extra work, but you'll get rid of so much spam and avoid so much data farming on you. Story 56. Email is easier than people want to believe because they've forgotten what it is. It's a store and forward queue that you deal with in your time. Emails will wait patiently until you deal with them. There are very, very few urgent emails despite what senders may think. If it was truly urgent, they wouldn't be emailing you. Spam filtering has gotten good enough that it's not a practical issue for anyone on a modern service. You have the stuff in your inbox, and until you move, delete it, it's not going anywhere. Stop feeling pressured by it. Email filters, in Gmail and Lookout at least, make a couple thousand emails a day, manageable to the point I have to be on vacation for a while to not have inbox zero. Story 57. I use bookmarklets to improve the functionality of websites I use frequently to my own taste. Adding JavaScript and then some JavaScript into any bookmark lets you run a script. I have ones too. Change serif fonts into sans serif, as I find serif hard to read. Change a YouTube short layout into a proper video layout when I want to more easily see the description and comments. Additionally, I use a Chrome plugin called Tamper Monkey to always run custom JavaScript on some websites, e.g. the BBC, who don't do high DPI images properly, and the Scriptforce loads the proper images. Story 58. If you're looking for music on YouTube and need a good quality, no frills, no 3 extra minutes of music video, no random re-upload rubbish, official version, add topic at the end of your search. Iggy Lady Gaga applause topic. These are where the official labeled distribution uploads get added to YouTube. It's usually just the song name, with the upload user being artist, topic. Works with pretty much any artist signed to a modern major label, including some international acts. Worked as a DJ for several years, and this was absolutely essential if the old YouTube ever had to come into play, if I was really strapped finding a song that wasn't in my usual places. Story 59. Not strictly an internet hack, but in Windows Task Manager, hold Ctrl to freeze the list. Then you can click on the process you need to end without it jumping all around. Another random one I picked up many years ago. While in File Explorer, press Ctrl and plus on the number pad to justify all the columns while in Details view. Story 60. I set my phone to private DNS, DNSAdguard.com, and about 90% of ads are blocked in browsers and apps. The only downside is that when I used to play mobile games that offered credits, lives, etc. for watching ads, that option would often just be grayed out until you go to settings and turn off private DNS. This with Revanced, and I basically never see ads. Story 61 IDK, how common this is, but I use incognito mode. Whenever I want to watch a YouTube video, I don't want destroying my feed. Like looking up footage of a video game I don't want spoiled, for example. Obviously, it's not foolproof if the search itself spoils you, but this will at least prevent spoilers from ending up in your feed. Story 62 ipconfig, release ipconfig, I renew. They are used to drop and reacquire your IP address on your local network to troubleshoot problems. Useful on their own, but they also have the side effect of disabling and restoring your internet. You can turn them into shortcuts to toggle your internet off and on, so your computer is not always connected all the time. Story 63. Some broadcasting stations provide previews of sports games through their website, where they let you watch an hour or so for free. If there's a game you want to watch, open the preview in incognito mode. When your timer runs out, close the window all the way and reopen for another hour. Repeat as many times as necessary. Story 64. If you organize your bookmarks into folders and subfolders, you can right-click on the subfolder and open all links at the same time. Note that it only opens links in that specific folder. If there are subfolders, it does not open the links inside them recursively. Story 65. Middle mouse button. One click usually enables smooth scrolling. Just click and then move your mouse up and down instead of using the scroll wheel constantly, or hold it down and it'll stop smooth scrolling when you release. Middle click a link. It opens in a new tab so you don't lose your place, or can quickly select multiple appropriate search results, links. Middle click a tab and it closes it. Middle click on an icon on your taskbar. It opens a new version of it. Hover over that same icon. Malleable instances show up as previews. Middle-click the one CSS you want to close without having to open them or look for the X button. Story 66. There is at least 2 different Google search engines. One for everyday users, while the other is for academia. If you are willing to use how to use keywords for the academic Google, you would find it easier to find all the proof you need that all the anti-vaccine nutters that they are full of it. Story 67. When you have page after page of search results on some site, but it only gives you links for the first, last, and adjacent pages, you can usually jump to any arbitrary page by finding the page number in the URL and changing it. Some sites use the index of the first record on the page rather than a page number, so multiply by the number of items on each results page first. This is usually obvious because the number in the URL will be a multiple of the number of results per page. Story 68. If you open a tab on your laptop or whatever, open a YouTube video, works best in the 1 to 10 minute range, and put it on loop and let it loop in the background a few times. You now have access to that video indefinitely, even while offline. I use this mostly to listen to music on the bus and stuff, but you could probably use it for other stuff. Story 69. Not really an internet hack, but about 10 to 12 years ago, I found out that opens the corresponding item from the taskbar. At the time, my browser happened to be the 4th item. Ever since then, I've kept my browser as the 4th item on the taskbar. I can open it from anywhere on the computer without having to lift my hand from the keyboard, and it's made hopping onto Reddit when procrastinating so much faster and more ergonomic. Story 70. Pro tip. Middle mouse click links to open them in a new background tab no matter what it does when you normally click it. Middle mouse click is clicking down on your scroll wheel. I've been doing this for like 25 years since I was a little kid, before tabs were even a thing, and it would just open a new window in the back. Apparently, people still don't know this is a thing that all browsers can do and have been able to forever. Even my friend who is a programmer and more computer literate when it comes to software, he still refuses to dive into building a PC from scratch because he thinks it's a hassle. Didn't know until we were like in our mid-20s, and we've been friends since we were like 11. I just assumed everyone knew. For years, he'd just right-click and open in background. Story 71. Use ChatGPT, Grok, or others for how-to questions instead of Reddit or other sites. You get correct answers to many of your questions right then and there without all the attitude of some subs on Reddit. I asked in legal advice and got responses that questioned why I wanted to do what I did, but not once response about how to do what I wanted to do. Story 72. It's pretty easy to learn how to get around about 95% of paywalls. Some load dynamically and will actually block your ability to view. Most of the time, they have just put the content behind some sort of blockable element and turned overflow to none. Once you hide the things in the way and turn back on overflow, most pages that had a paywall are completely accessible. Story 73. Keyword search. Save time opening websites you search often. On a website, say Wikipedia, right-click the search bar and hit Add a keyword for this search, name it whatever, and give it a keyword to use for a shortcut, say Wiki, to that search bar. Now, when you open a new tab and want to look something up, you can just type Wiki Battlestar Galactica instead of loading the full site and searching anew. Works on Firefox, and I'm sure other browsers have a similar feature. Story 74, Safari on iOS. For any news outlet, I've set Show Reader to be the default. I never see any of those annoying pop-ups or videos that refuse to close for 30 seconds or ads that are one screen tall and break up the news story I'm reading. On Chrome, you can create a hyperlink to a specific part of a web page, highlight text at the start of whatever section you want, right-click, and there should be an option to create a link to the highlighted text. Really cuts back and forth at work where I have to direct people to specific parts of a web page. Story 75, Ctrl+W2, close the currently window you're on. Have two monitors and like to have your browser open in the second monitor while gaming? You ever play a game where you have to scroll up and down for whatever reason and it causes the browser to scroll to? Not on every game, but that one old game you like to play? Go Start, Settings, and search for Scroll Inactive. It should bring up an option to turn off Scroll Inactive windows when I hover over them. A useful feature, sure, but super annoying when you're a gamer who likes watching YouTube on a second monitor or whatever, a video, and it causes issues with the volume. Story 76, not something I can teach, but learning to search, learning how to pick out good keywords, learning how to refine your search based on what you find in the first search. It seems like a no-brainer, but as a trainer, I see even level 1 techs who just do the most basic wrong search, don't find what they need and go, I can't find it. Story 77, using Mozilla's private browsing window to look stuff up that I don't want tainting my account algorithms, since the default setting is to show you all sites without you signed in. Google search for something random I don't otherwise care about, private window so I don't start getting news headlines about it. Great for things like, whatever happened to that one actor from that one movie, without suddenly being inundated with celebrity gossip articles, or what is wearing without starting to see endless recipe recommendations for it. YouTube videos, maybe by a toxic political influencer, or something I don't want to see more because I'm only watching it for brief informational purposes. Private window, and now YouTube won't keep recommending similar videos to me, and I can keep seeing videos I actually want curated for me.